Hi, how is everybody tonight on this Friday night? I hope you're doing good. I'm feeling so much better. Still a little dizzy and shaky, but I'm feeling way better than I was. I felt like I would have had to get better to die because I didn't even have enough strength to get better to die. So it was bad, I'm telling you. Anybody that has COVID, I just want you to know I've been praying for all my friends and my subscribers on YouTube that have COVID because it's a terrible thing to go through. Let me tell you, it's a battle. I cannot wait until it gets warm. It is like whipping here, blowing, snowing, and I'm glad to be in the house, but I cannot wait until it gets spring and I can take you outside with me. And I have a new video camera that I can't wait to get outside and use and get in my little house that I have, my little she shed outside, and do some more videos. But anyways, I'm just hope everybody's doing okay tonight. And I have some things I want to talk about. And as my video is titled, I have 22 things, 22 reasons why I think Don is the abductor. Summer Wells' father, I believe Don Wells, is the abductor of his daughter. So I have 22 suspicious things that I find suspicious about him. But first of all, I just wanted to make sure that I tell you this, that the other day I told you that I felt sorry for Candace, that I didn't think she did this. But, I talked to my husband about it, and he said, it's kind of late to be acting like she's sad because she didn't show she was that sad, and she probably does miss her kids, but that doesn't mean that she didn't have some kind of involvement in this. So he told me not to be too rushed to let her off the hook, because I don't think I can let her off the hook. I don't think I can let Don off the hook at all. So I know there's all kinds of people that could potentially be suspects, okay? There's all kinds of pedophiles, sex offenders, all kinds of bad people in the Summer Wells case and in the neighborhood. But that does not mean that they did anything to Summer Wells. And it always points back to the family to me. I'm sorry. So I just want to talk about those 22 suspicious things that I find about Don Wells. And I want to remind you of something again in this interview. And it was WJHL. And they did an interview with Summer Wells' parents. And I want you to hear what Candace says right here, because I think it's really important. It's always bothered me. It has bothered me so bad. She said something that really bothered me, and Don said something that is similar that really bothers me. So listen to this part of this video here. What the heck?
I feel that way, but that's my baby, and nobody would ever treat her like that as long as I was around, ever.
She loves to dance.
I want to get up just a little bit closer and turn this up a little bit for you. I'm sure you heard it, but okay. Let's just come up here a little bit closer because
To Summer's daddy and my husband, He's always provided for us and has worked as much as he could and can, and still is. And I'm sorry that you guys feel that way, but that's my baby, and nobody would ever treat her like that as long as I was around, ever.
She goes to dance.
I don't know if I'm sure you caught that, but did you see the look she gave Don when she said nobody would ever hurt her like that if I was around? Hurt her like what? Hurt Summer like what? And Don's over here changing the subject right away. But yeah, look at her eyes. Look at her. Catch her again. This just bugs me to no end.
We've never went without, thanks to Summer's daddy and my husband. He's always provided for us and has worked as much as he could and can, and still is. And I'm sorry that you guys feel that way, but that's my baby, and nobody would ever treat her like that.
Hey, watch her. Look at him.
I was around, ever.
She goes to dance.
As long as I was around, ever. And she gives Don like a scornful look out of the corner of her eye. So I really like to know what is treated like that and what that means to her. You know, it's never made sense to me. And you know what Don said, which really stuck with me and bothers me too, and it makes me feel suspicious, is that he said when Brian, I think it was Brian Eaton, asked him in another interview, he said, when Don was asked if Candace was suspicious to him, he said no, not the way it played out and everything like that. You always have questions, and I've asked myself, but the way that it happened in her emotions and state of mind, not how everything played out. How does he know how everything played out? He wasn't even there. So it really bothers me. So I just find their statements very strange, okay? So let me start with let me get situated here. Let me start with my 22 suspicious things about Don Wells. When Summer Wells came up missing, Don was the one to come out and talk to the media. His wife should have been out there with him, but he came out and he wasn't even home. So that was number one red flag to me, suspicion. Number two, he started saying he'll see her in the resurrection and already acted like and accepted that she was gone. Number three, he instantly thought she was tied up in a dungeon and tortured and could not believe that she was lost in the woods. Number four, when he makes a plea to whomever has Summer, a couple times he's tried to make a plea, which were pretty crappy pleas as far as I'm concerned. But when he tries to make a plea, he acts like he knows who it is. Like he's saying, well, if there's any way that you can bring her back, if there's a way you can get her back. It's really strange the way he says it. So I think he acts like he knows the people who took her. And then number five, he fired a guy at work and used him to be accused. He sent the TBI and the cops there right away to Dudley's house. So he fired a guy. So that was very strange. Then he blamed everyone instantly. You know, he started with everyone. And then number 7, he drove the Subaru, which is really highly red flag suspicious to me. And I believe that he took the Subaru not only so that, it would look like he was Candace, that it was Candace driving around. Nobody would suspect her of anything, and nobody would think anything. And another thing is, I think he took the Subaru because it was four-wheel drive or two-wheel drive, whatever he said. There was no way he could get through the back path by his house, and I believe that he was there, and I believe he used the Subaru that day for that. Number 8, on Ziggy's channel, Jenna confronted Don in an interview, in a little chat, live chat, saying that Don was home. That Candace said that Don was home at 3:30. Of course, Don denied it, but that is very suspicious because Jenna called him out and called him a liar because she said Candace said you were home at 3 or 3:30. Number 9, Don has been accused of SA and trying to sell his own child. And he admitted to the SA of his stepsisters, and he has no remorse about it. And he says they won't even be able to prove it, even though he admitted to it. Number 10, Don has a long criminal history, and he's abused his sisters. Number 11, his son is a SA offender, and his daughter was supposedly raped by a family member, and he did nothing but applaud her for not being a whiny bitch. Number 12, Don is a drug addict and has sold drug and has a lot of druggy friends around, and he likes to talk about them a lot. 13, he's had other kids removed from him. 14, Don says he has 7 alibis. Candace has none. 15, Don likes to plan out, map out, and show us how the abductor got Summer, which is really weird because you know what? I've never seen other parents do that, or people like Maya Malete. She, her family just goes out and searches for her. They don't look for all these theories and, you know, map things out for you to show you. So that's suspicious to me. That was number 15. Number 16, Don lies and has said a lot of suspicious, weird things. Like he wanted to actually act like a molester with the police and try to buy a kid. And he talks a lot. He talked a lot about sex trafficking and taking some, kids going across the Mexican border. So that is very suspicious to me. 17, Don likes to play hoaxes on his sister, and he's worried more about looking bad as an SA offender than he worries about his child. He's worried about his reputation. 18, Don is violent towards Candace and the kids. 19, Don loves for everyone to feel sorry for him. 20, Don erased his and Jody Sue's trail cams. Now, if that's not weird and suspicious, I don't know. What was on those trail cams? Don and Jody Sue, what do you know? 21, I believe Don said to Candace that some creepy guy, that when he called her and he said some creepy guy was on the property trying to touch the little kids, I believe that Don told Candace that. And the reason that Don told Candace that, so he would have this all set up for when he took Summer. And number 22, Don told Dudley, the co-worker, he had a bad dream and feeling he was going to go to prison for beating his kids for a long time. And he also said he always knew something bad would happen to Summer. So that's 22 things that I find very suspicious about Don. Now, this is my theory, and this is what I believe, and I want to go over it again because I think it is the theory. I believe that Don was laying in that basement down in that bedroom. And I believe that he parked in the back, way in the back of his property, and that he walked her out of that property and got into that red Subaru and drove her right out of there. I believe that he abducted his own daughter. And I think the reason that he abducted his own daughter is because he was bothered that CPS was coming to take her away. And I think they knew that. I think they knew them boys and Summer was being taken away. And I think he did something with her. He either sold her or he hurt her or, So I don't know what you think, but that's what I think. But I want to show you something because I know I've showed it to you before. I had this all, like I said, ready. To go, and then then it's not there when I wanted to look for it. So come on, where are you? Sorry about that. It'll just take me a minute. So, what are your suspicions? I mean, do you agree with my suspicions about Donald and that he seems like the most guilty? Do you think that he was, like, to me, he was laying up there in that basement and he took her out of there? And that's what I think. So I'm trying to find it here. Boy, this makes me mad. Hold on. Almost there, sorry. But anyways, yeah. I don't think this is really that hard to figure out. I really do think that Donald Wells went up on that property. Oh, I just want to scream right now. I mean, when you have something and you can't find it. Hold on. It. in the world. You know, I just had this dang thing. Anyways, I don't know. It really bugs me because I was all ready to go. It's too bad. Right here. Okay. So,
see this frittata? See the
I
eggs
know.
that made this frittata? See
I'm sorry you had to go through all that.
With traceability.
Cover the possibilities with Rebelsis.
And then we gotta have a commercial, you know.
All our property here to the left. All this.
Okay, so this is Voices Behind the Wall. And Don, and you should go over there and subscribe to Voices Behind the Wall because she has a lot of videos from Don and things from Don, things that Don sent in. But watch Don on his
All this is our property. So I turned.
we turned. He screwed up. This is the way that I think Don came home earlier that day, and he drove in the back way and he parked back here. And I think that's why he took the Subaru, because it would make it through there and nobody would see him. And maybe that is the red flash that Jody Sue's seen. So this goes all the way up. This goes all the way up. He'll keep going. This goes all the way up to his house. But see, there's a back way into their property. And I believe that's where Don parked the Subaru. And I believe he just, when Summer, if she came down to the basement, then he carried her out. You know, watch him now. He's going to drive back. He's going to drive up to the house. Just had to turn a little bit, and then he's up to the back way.
And at that time, I don't know if I looked in this little shack here. Used to be the horses I framed.
So that's what I'm saying. I think that he was in the basement, and he laid there, and he took his daughter out that basement door. And I don't know what he did with her, if he sold her, if he gave her to someone, if he's hiding her out, or if they both hurt her, if an accident. I keep going with an accident, but if anybody abducted this child, I think it was the father. I don't think anybody went down the dog trail. Think about it. Well, I know Don wouldn't be parking down on the road because then they would see, well, nobody would think nothing if it's Candace's car parked down at, at the bottom there, and then they came down the dog trail, right? I mean, who's going to pay attention? But it seems like somebody would have seen. And so I think that a lot of things that are going on in YouTube and different people are distractions. I mean, I don't trust Jody Sue at all, and I heard her tonight. She did a video tonight, and she was really stoned. And I don't care what anybody says. She slurs her words. She's drunk or stoned, one or the other. And it's really hard to understand her. And then she doesn't even talk for a long time. She won't say anything. She just stares into the camera. So it wasn't very anything worthwhile watching. I mean, she didn't have much to say is what I'm saying. But, there are a lot of bad people in this case and a lot of weirdos. And I do think that it's a possibility, but not really. You got 13 to 20 dogs on the property at a time, and those dogs were there because Candace had to take her dogs off the property for the search dogs to search. So if Don or Candace or anyone says those dogs weren't there that day, that's a lie, because the police said the dogs were there, and they told Chris McDonough, and so did the searchers. And so Don and Candace are still my number one suspects. I think they're guilty. I don't know what they've done to her, but I do pray that they find her. I hope they didn't sell her. That would be a terrible thing. But it sure is weird how Don talks about he thinking Summer was in a dungeon. And I don't know. I know a lot of people think that trafficking was involved with Summer's case, but I really don't know. I think he's hit her somewhere, and he's hit her pretty good. And I hope that we find her soon. I mean, it's been 8 months. Come on. I think I'd like to think she was okay, but I think she's gone, and it just breaks my heart. But I'm not going to stop praying for her. I'm praying that she'll be found and she'll get justice, because this is awful. But yes, I definitely think that Don Wells has abducted Summer Wells, and he's got her somewhere, and Candace knows about it, and so does Don. Now think about this. If Don said there was a creepy guy on the property, maybe he said that to her. So when he did kidnap Summer, that she would just think, oh no, there was a creepy guy on the property, right? And he probably took her. And she wouldn't look or pay attention to Don, see? But, who knows? Not a one single one of us knows, but it's really good to look at all the red flags, all the suspicions. It's good to, go back and look at these things. And I think that the TBI is going to find out a lot more about these two, Don and Candace. I just have that feeling that there's more involved than just Summer Wells, that there's other things involved in this case. I was listening to this Joe Navarro. He's a behavior analyst guy, and he's so good. But it was a real simple thing that he said. But he said, if you lie, you have to convince others of your lie. But when it's the truth, it's just there. You don't have to do anything. So, and I've seen Don and Candace trying to convince us all the way through that this was an abduction, a stranger abduction. Somebody came up on their property and took Summer. And I think it's been a story from day one. And I find it strange that Candace had all her videos and footage of Summer ready to go to be put on the internet instantly. She was prepared, man. And, that video of her on the milk jugs reminds me of a proof of living that Candace wanted to prove that she was in the car or whatever. But yes. So, it's a really strange case, but I pray we get a breakthrough in it. And I believe God's going to hear, and He is going to answer sometime. I just don't know when. But, Don can just have a blast. He said he don't mind being in jail, right? He's going to lay in the sun and eat good food and relax and work out. Well, whatever, Don. Your little girl's missing. Can't even believe how you talk sometimes. I don't know. I really don't know. And I don't know why Candace had to say, she needs to concentrate on the boys because they're living. I mean, Summer does she know that Summer's not living? I mean, come on. This is getting crazy, isn't it? But anyways, I just wanted to come on and talk about those things and let you know that Don Wells and Candace are my suspects, and all these are red flags, and you need to check it out, what the red flags are to you. We're all working together trying for the same goal, and that's to find this little girl because she's a precious little girl. So, Summer Moon Utah Wells, she's missing out of Rogersville, Tennessee. If you have any information about her, please call TBI Find 1-800 TBI Find. If you were at Warriors State Park on June 15th, if you were anywhere near there when she was swimming and you seen that little girl, call TBI. Tell them what you seen. Anybody that's seen Summer that day should be calling the TBI. Want to make sure that, she was seen and she was okay. Anybody with any information should come forward and not be afraid. You might not think it's important, but it could be the most important thing that breaks a case. So if you have any info, call it in. Anyways, I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. And stay warm, stay healthy. And I'll try to be back in a day or two because I just want to talk. I really do want to talk about Susan Morphew, and I need to get to that. So, anyways, I hope everybody has a great day and good night. Bye.